In the know, non-stop Vikings talk. It's Purple Daily on Score North and ScoreNorth.com.
Yes. It's our Saturday Purple Picks episode. We are one sleep away from Minnesota Vikings football, gentlemen. Let's get it. One sleep away from the first Vikings Ventline post-game show. The place to be, by the way, Vikings Ventline. If you're a Vikings fan, the Purple Daily YouTube channel, right after the game is over, you can submit to be on the show, vikingsventline@gmail.com. We will check that out, but we're here. It's the eve of Viking season, boys.
So excited. Finally here. We've made it. We made it through everything. We are now actually now get meaningful. Well, we got one on Thursday night with the Lions beating the Chiefs, but we now get meaningful Viking football, and we get the retro jerseys on Sunday too, which I'm going to tell you right now, I love those jerseys.
The throwbacks. Before we get to some key questions off this game and make our actual picks for the game, this is what our Saturday episode is going to be. 15, 20 minutes, down and dirty. We'll tell you what the betting world, the sharps, are saying about the Vikings, and we'll make our picks. Let's shout out our friends at TCL, the world's best-selling consumer electronics brand, or one of them anyways, has a new lineup of award-winning TVs delivering the most entertainment with stunning resolution, all at an affordable cost. Learn more at TCL.com and it's greatness with TCL. And if you haven't already, you can check out at scorenorth.com/shop our collectibles wing, where we have a couple incredible Vikings-related collectibles. Justin Jefferson signed custom purple jersey. The most popular thing so far for people to buy for their man caves or their offices or whatever is a custom signed Justin Jefferson framed photo of him making the one-handed catch in Buffalo last year. This thing is badass. It's the most popular thing that you guys, the audience, have snagged so far. So check these things out at scorenorth.com/shop. and click on collectibles. scorenorth.com/shop and click on collectibles. All right, gentlemen, let's get it.
Football.
Minnesota Vikings, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'm going to give you guys every week a couple umbrella questions here that we can go over, starting with this one. What are you most confident about with this game as it pertains to the Vikings?
I think the most confident thing I am about this game is that they are going to get off to a good start in the passing game. I think that the switch from 11 personnel, which means there's 3 receivers on the field, to 12 personnel, which means there's 2 tight ends, 2 receivers, is actually going to benefit Kirk. Justin Jefferson now should have a running mate in Jordan Addison, and it's my belief that if he can stay healthy, I think he's going to have a quick impact. He didn't seem like a guy in anything I saw in training camp where it looked too big for him. Yeah. He looked like a guy who's going to fit in. TJ Hawkinson, yes, he didn't take part in a ton of the practices, the team drills, but he's been here throughout training camp now. And so I think the passing game against Tampa Bay is going to get off to a very, very solid start. And I think that's going to translate into more points being scored throughout not just the first, but the second and third quarters, as opposed to a year ago when it was basically the fourth quarter. Jacqueline?
Yeah, skill position guys are good. I'll also say I believe the pass rush will be able to get after Baker Mayfield pretty well. That's the one area of the Vikings defense I am pretty confident in going into the season. I want to see what Marcus Davenport can do. Danielle Hunter, I believe, will be used more uniquely. And then the element of surprise, I guess, with Brian Flores blitzing these random players basically at all these crazy times, which was like what he did with the Dolphins. I'm confident the pass rush should be able to get after Baker Mayfield pretty well. The rest of the defense, I need to see this play out for a few games before I get a really good sense of what it looks like. But I will say I believe the pass rush is the one area where I think they will cause havoc against Tampa Bay Bucs offense.
Yeah, I'm going to kind of go toward Declan's direction. I'm most confident in chaos for Baker Mayfield. Mm-hmm. I think we saw more at practice with Brian Flores and what he's going to unleash maybe than the preseason games. Although he showed some Brian Flores-ness in the preseason games where he's lining 7-8 guys up on the line of scrimmage. Baker has struggled against pressure, and he's just you can fluster him. He also thinks that he's faster and more athletic than he really is in the NFL. Like in college against guys that aren't going to play in the NFL, he could kind of scoot out of the pocket and get out on the edges and make plays. he ain't that guy. I'm sorry, dude. You're not Lamar Jackson. You're not Josh Allen. Like, you're not a hulking athlete. And sometimes he gets himself into trouble when here comes the rush. Oh, Baker's going to try and get out of the pocket. Like, oh, I'm not fast enough. I think they could get him on the run and make some plays, get him flustered. So I think chaos is the thing I am most confident in on the Vikings defense side. Question number 2 here. What scares you most about this game on Sunday?
Oh, that's pretty simple. The interior of the offensive line. I'll stay on that side of the football. And, those guards, we still don't know. We still don't know. And if I am to be proven correct that the passing game is going to get off to a good start, the pass protection for Kirk Cousins is going to have to be good. Mm-hmm. And Ed Ingram is and will remain a big question mark for the time being. Ezra Cleveland, as the statistics show, or as the PFF grade show, very good when it comes to road grading for the run, not so good when it comes to pass protection. Garrett Bradbury's coming off a back problem from last year. And, I think we got caught up in, Bradbury's improved. Well, he was improved from being really, really bad previously. So
he's still not great. Yeah.
Yeah. So I would say interior protection of an offensive line that last year, as we saw in the Netflix docuseries, got Cousins beat to hell. I still have a lot of questions there.
For me, the flip side of the ball, the defensive line and just the run defense for the Vikings. I like the Vikings pass rush, getting after Baker Mayfield. I have questions if the Buccaneers, not questions, but I wonder if the Buccaneers' simple game plan of, hey, if their run defense is still leaky, let's try to control the clock. Let's KISS, keep it simple, stupid. Don't overthink yourself. Let's run the ball down their throats because the Vikings their rush defense, has some serious questions. So I worry about that you get basically in this time of possession game where the Bucs maybe get a couple scores early and they just have the ball longer than you. That's probably something that would concern me with this game.
Yeah, if you're the Bucs, you should probably keep Baker Mayfield, unless the game flow gets out of hand, right? You should probably keep him to like 25 attempts or less and just try and pound the run. If I was Tampa, I would come in and say, all right, Dean Lowry, Kyrus Tonga, rookie linebackers, try and stop us. And I would run the ball about 30 or 35 times. I think the thing that scares me the most is one man, and it kind of goes to what Judd was saying about the ricketiness and the questionable nature of the guards in the center. Vita Vega, who's one of the better interior defensive linemen in the NFL, 10.5 sacks over the past couple years, 25 quarterback hits. This is all from the interior the last couple years. He was a Pro Bowler 2 years ago when healthy. He missed about 3 or 4 games last year, but Vita Vega can play up the middle, and I'm curious to see sort of, if he wreaks havoc here and gets some push up the middle. It makes Kirk Cousins' life difficult. Mm-hmm. So, all right, let's instead of going through the full schedule again. The last time we did the full schedule record prediction was August 8th. We've done it 5 times since the end of last year.
Yeah,
and I have had the Vikings at 10-7 every single time we've gone through some iteration of the schedule. Declan has been at 9-8. Declan's done it 4 times. He was out one of the times. 9-8, 9-8, 11-6, and now settling in at 10-7. Judd's been at 8-9, 10-7, 7-10, 9-8, 9-8. So I'm just going to ask you guys. We don't have to go through the whole schedule. What is your final Vikings record prediction for 2023?
Go ahead, Dex.
I'm gonna stick with 10-7. I'm gonna stick with 10-7. I have a tough time going higher than that right now. I believe they're still 8.5 with Vegas, and I don't believe that is completely disrespect for a team that won 13 games the last year. They face a difficult schedule early on. They play a lot of good quarterbacks. It's kind of funny how they play a lot of probably 4 of the 5 best quarterbacks, and they also have some spots in their schedule we can make the case maybe they play 5 of the worst starting quarterbacks at least, or unproven quarterbacks in the NFL. Yeah. However, I don't think that this is a team that looks like to be, at least on paper right now, one of the more superior teams in the NFC. It's still wide open, but I can't go above 10 wins, so I will say 10 wins for me.
I'm going to stick with 9 wins. I'm going to stick with 9 wins because I think there's going to be probably in Kevin O'Connell's second season more ebbs and flows. I think that this team actually could show marked improvement in certain places, such as defense, and that's still not going to guarantee wins because keep in mind, you won 13 games a year ago with a defense that was atrocious. And was hemorrhaging yards and points, and you still won 13 games. So I think the schedule is tougher. I think the beginning of the schedule is very interesting. It's sort of weird because it's not all tough. Tampa Bay shouldn't be. Carolina might be, but I don't know on that one yet.
That's not a gimme.
Yeah, but but then you got the quarterbacks. Like you're gonna face all those quarterbacks, it feels like, aside from Burrow early. So yeah, I'm gonna stick with 9 wins, but I don't think that's any type of death sentence, or certainly won't put, Kevin O'Connell on the hot seat.
Yeah, it's a brutal schedule, man. On paper right now, obviously it could change as we get into the season here. Like maybe Tampa's more competitive than we think. Tampa looks like the easiest game on the schedule just because it's a home game against a team you're a touchdown favorite against. You've got the Philadelphia Chargers at Carolina is a weird game. That's a team that was feisty last season, and we'll see how Bryce Young looks. Kansas City, even like the division games where you think the Vikings are better than Chicago and Green Bay, but going at Chicago, at Green Bay, mobile quarterbacks, weapons,
and you don't know.
Those are not easy games.
Yep.
Even people are going to be like, well, what about the Atlanta game? Dude, Atlanta has weapons. Bijan Robinson, Kyle Pitts. They've got guys all over the place on that team.
Cordero, now on the depth chart, is a joker. You don't know where he's going to line up anymore. He's a joker.
Could be anywhere. Yeah. So I'm going to say 10. I'm going to stick with 10 wins. It's where I've been at basically since the end of the season. I'm with Judd, too, in that they could be maybe even better looking and more consistent in moving the football and different things, but just run into worse luck and a harder schedule. If they win 10 games, I think it's a nice way to navigate this schedule. You're going to make the playoffs almost certainly in this NFC with a 10-7 record. So 10-7. So okay. 10-7, 10-7, and then Judd has them at 9-8.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Well, let me tell you guys what the Sharps are saying about this game via Action Network, and then we will make our picks for this Sunday. So the Vikings are 5.5-point favorites consensus across the sports books, like the consensus average. Okay. It started at 6. Now they're 5.5.
Yeah, it's dropped.
55.5% of the bets are on the Vikings, but 79% of the money is on the Buccaneers.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know if there's like some big sharps with big bankrolls coming in saying this is going to be a closer game. You'll see kind of why maybe that might be the case. Baker Mayfield is 29-41 in his career against the spread. Kirk Cousins is 69-70 in his career against the spread. So he's exactly 500, just a game below.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay has lost 6 straight road games against the spread going into the season. There's some different personnel here, but Todd Bowles, the Buccaneers coach, is one of the worst coaches as an underdog. He's 12-36 straight up as an underdog and 18-27 against the spread as an underdog.
Wow.
He was 0-4 straight up as an underdog last season, so they did not win a game in which they were favored to lose. And out of 144 coaches, however long this has been tracked, Bowles' 18-27 record against the spread is 140th out of 144 coaches. So if you were to bet $100 on every one of those games, you'd be down $1,000 net. So Todd Bowles, not exactly, I guess, inspiring the Buccaneers to win as underdogs, or the Jets back in the day. Kirk Cousins, however, is just 10-16 against the spread at home since 2020, which is 83rd out of 85 quarterbacks. And this is one last nugget for you guys in terms of like high score, low score. The over is 22-12 in Cousins' 34 starts since 2021, making him the most profitable quarterback to hit the over that span out of 85 quarterbacks. So higher scoring games when Kirk Cousins is at the helm and when the Vikings defense is at the helm. So before we make our picks here, who wins and who covers, we'll take a deep breath and we'll talk about how you can lose some weight here at the beginning of the football season. Go from being a defensive tackle to a linebacker or something.
I might not be completely confident in what I'm about to pick when it comes to this game, but I'm completely confident when I tell you, and if you are watching this, you can see the evidence that the guy on the left, the guy on the right, well, they're the same guy. They're sports dads. So you're saying, well, what's the difference, though? There's a difference there, sports dad. And I'm telling you, there absolutely is. And that is the Livia difference. My friends at Livia Weight Control Centers, they're dietitians and nutritionists, helped me shed 40 pounds a couple years ago. And here's the best part. They're going to help you keep that weight off. 3 consecutive years now voted the best weight loss program in the entire state. So if you are trying to say, yeah, sports dad, you said that, but who else does? I'm going to tell you right now, 3 consecutive years, they have been voted the best weight loss program. And right now, if you join, you're going to get 3 months for free. That's right. You are going to get 3 months. Imagine that. You're going to be a good portion of the way through football season. You're going to be down. You're going to be lean. You're going to be feeling great. And that is for free. 855-GO-LIVEA, Livia.com. LIVEA.com, inside or outside the state, because you can do it all virtually. Livia, LIVEA.com. That is your one-stop shopping to drop those unwanted pounds.
And hey, a shout out to our friends too, back for another season. Underdog Fantasy, here to make your viewing experience a lot more fun. Football weekends.
Yeah, there's a new customer offer here. So when people use promo code SCORE, we've seen a nice amount of sign-ups so far this month. So thank you for supporting. Every time you sign up with Underdog Fantasy for the first time and use promo code SCORE, it helps us out at SCORE North. When you do that sign-up, you'll get a mystery pick'em special plus a $100 match. So you get basically accounts to a free item of a parlay, essentially. Old Dex tweets got burned by Jared Goff. You know, Mackie loves Jared Goff. He got stuck at 22 completions again yesterday. And you know what? Underdog Fantasy is back. Those are the breaks, and we support Underdog Fantasy. So if you want to get your picks in for this week against the Buccaneers, go down Underdog Fantasy, and new customers, promo code SCORE, SKOR, $100 match.
All right, boys, here's what I want from you. We'll do this every single week. Give me who wins the game and then the margin, like an exact margin. The spread is 5.5, just for reference. Vikings by 5.5. We'll start with Judd.
Vikings win their opener, second consecutive year, opening at U.S. Bank Stadium under Kevin O'Connell, that they win, and the exact margin will be by 10 points.
Ooh.
It might be by more than that. I think Tampa Bay, the Cardinals have all this steam about how atrocious they're going to be, but I think Tampa Bay is purposely going to be pretty damn bad itself. I think they definitely have their eyes set, and they should, on the top overall pick. And yes, they've got some talent, but to your point about Todd Bowles, he ain't a great head coach. I think he's a good coordinator, but that doesn't make you a great head coach. So I'm going to say, I'm going to be a little bit more cautious and not say 14. I'm going to say Vikings by 10, and they have to have this game because you're going to Philly on a Thursday night. That sucker's a wild card, and in this league, you do not want to start 0-2. You can recover from it, but it's a pain in the ass. So yep. Vikings by 10.
Okay. Dex?
24-17. Vikings win by 7.
Okay.
So I have the Vikings. I think expecting this defense completely shut down a Baker Mayfield offense, even though it's not a great offense, is I think a little far-fetched so far. But I believe the Vikings offense should be able to march down the field for a good amount of times. I just think they should get on the board enough. I think the Vikings take care of business. It's a easier game. You don't want to fall into a trap because by this time next week, we have 2 Vikings games in the can already in this NFL season. But I think the Vikings win by 7 points against the Bucs in Week 1.
I'm right there with Dex, man. I think it's Vikings by 6. Maybe they're up by 13, and it's close to a backdoor cover, but not quite with the 5.5 points. So I'm thinking like 26-20, 27-21, 30-24, or something in that kind of range. I don't think this defense is going to force a couple turnovers. I don't know that they hold the Buccaneers to like 9 points. They're probably still going to give up some points. So 6, Vikings by 6. We all have the Vikings and the Vikings covering the 5.5. Bunch of homers on this show.
Baker Mayfield, 2 picks, in my opinion, 2 picks in this game. And if the Vikings don't win by 10, that means that there's a very good chance Greg Joseph missed a field goal, in which case I'll be calling for his head Sunday.
Wow. I love it. Just already calling for Greg Joseph's head early on. So there it is. Purple picks every Saturday here. before Sunday Vikings games on Purple Daily, the Purple Daily YouTube channel. Click that subscribe button and the like button. We're almost to 40,000 subscribers on the Purple Daily YouTube channel. And don't forget to join us for Vikings Vent Line right after the game on Sunday. See you.